I don't even want to go to work today. They're trying to paint Dearborn. Elon Musk, he tweeted out or shared out this post trying to act like Muslims in Dearborn are like trying to take over the world or something. Like they're really trying to push out this message.
Please shut the f up. They are trying to get ahead of the problem. And you can save your tears, because if Muslim extremists have their way, you will not be working, let alone talking in public. That is not Afghanistan. That is not Iraq. That is Dearborn, Michigan. And it is being allowed because they have a Muslim mayor. And it is by no accident. I know she is a liberal, but please use your brain and your eyes. See what is going on in Europe. 7,000 Christians have been killed this year in Nigeria. They are attempting to infiltrate from within with one purpose: to make wherever they inhabit a Muslim nation. You know, initially I was confused as to why Texas now has the 10 Commandments posted in the classrooms. I get it now, and I fully support it. These Muslim extremists have one mission and one mission only, and they don't give a damn about dying for it.
Muslims are not playing no games no more. No games. And if you are not bold with your faith already, you need to start being bold with your faith, because the Muslims, they not scared at all. I don't know if it's just me, but I've been seeing these videos on how they basically been saying how they taken over the UK. They're going to come take over the US, and they've already started taking over the US. They're going to make sure Islam enters every single household, and they're going to start taking over the policies and politics and implying Sharia law and just changing the US as we know it and making it a Muslim country. Like, and even if you're not Christian, that should raise some alarm bells. You should start thinking like, what's going on? First of all, America is a melting pot of a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying, other religions, but they trying to make this stuff. They trying to make the whole world Muslim. Like, is y'all not getting it? Like, imagine you just chilling, you hearing a call to prayer, talking about 5 times a day, loud as heck, blasting through the streets, and that means you gotta drop down and pray. That's how it starts. Pretty soon, you keep doing that, then you're gonna start getting arrested because you're not dropping down and praying in public. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta start thinking, bro. And I'm not trying to say like disrespect their religion. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Obviously I don't agree with it. I don't support it. You know what I'm saying? I'm a child of God, Jesus Christ. We not finna stand for no hostile takeover. This is an insurrection. They talking about trying to take, like, how isn't the government doing something about this, bro? Like, they're literally taking us down from within. They're like sleeper agents. Forget the Russians, forget the Soviets. These the real sleeper agents. You know what I'm saying? They just appointed a Muslim governor in New York. And I'm not saying he finna just go ahead and start applying Sharia law and like enforcing it, and he just might, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't denouncing it in that video when somebody was asking him. But I'm just saying this is a step. And if you know, if you've been in your word, you know what I'm saying, you know about the end time prophecies, it just makes sense. The stage of the Antichrist is being set. The Bible, like, Islam is going to be a religion that wages war on the Christians. It's talked about in Revelation 13, verse 8, I believe. Like, Christians will be beheaded. What other country, what other religion focuses primarily on beheading the infidel? Like, come on, y'all got to open your eyes. If you're not already being allowed with your faith, you better start. I'm finna, hey, I'm not finna play those games with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I love y'all, Islam people. I love y'all in the name of Jesus, but we not finna stand for that, man.
Mom Donnie and the Islamic takeover. These things don't surprise me. It's supposed to happen. Before Jesus comes, Islam has to take over the world. Now, I'm not saying that Mom Donnie's gonna do all of this by himself. I'm not saying that. But it's a step, notice I say step, in that direction. As you guys know, I believe that the Mahdi is the biblical Antichrist. I'll go into that in a little bit. When you have the United States of America, the strongest military in the world, that once proposed and pushed Christian values, through the roof. We got a president in office right now that helps Christian. and Israel, which is good. Nevertheless, the direction that we're going in overall, with the increase of election of Muslim officials that push Islam, you see it as a soft foundation to normalize Islamic views, which contradict the Bible. I believe that this is prophetic and it has to happen. In biblical eschatology, we believe in this figure called the Antichrist. Daniel 9:27, he makes a 7-year peace treaty with Israel. He goes after Christians and Jews. You see that in the book of Daniel, in the book of Revelation. Micah chapter 5, people are beheaded. He comes with the false prophet. They establish his political, religious rule. He doesn't take over the entire world, but he has many nations under him. There will be some that wage war against him. They'll lose, but they'll wage war against him. Interestingly enough, there is this figure in Islamic eschatology, their end time beliefs, whom they call the Mahdi. In some Islamic circles, they teach that the Mahdi will ride in on a white horse. Revelation chapter 6, the Antichrist rides in on a white horse. Some Islamic circle, because you have the Shiites and the Sunnis, and of course you have your others. It's taught that he'll be on earth around 7 years. The Antichrist signs a 7-year peace treaty. It's taught among some that he will make a treaty with the Romans and Jewish priests. The Antichrist peace treaty involves the Jewish temple and others, which obviously involves priests. The Mahdi comes with an Islamic form of Jesus to testify against Christians. Revelation chapter 3, the Antichrist comes with the false prophet who is a fake Jesus who's said to be a lamb dragon. The Mahdi is a political military leader. The Antichrist is a political military leader. In Islam, beheading, according to Islamic writings, is one of the key ways of death. You can obviously see it right here. Revelation chapter 20, then I saw thrones, and the people sitting on them had been given authority to judge. And I saw the souls of those who had been beheaded for their testimony about Jesus. You remember what ISIS did to those Christians that were on the beach, and there is a lot more to it, but that's just a very brief summary. So the rise of Islam, I believe, has to happen, because it's the movement of the beast. As you can see, I was going back and forth with one, and she said that the Antichrist will pretend to be Jesus. She's Muslim, by the way. The reason she says this is because in Islam, their version of the Antichrist literally matches our Jesus. To the point in their book, they say, Allah hates the King of Kings. You know who the King of Kings is. So this doesn't surprise me. But Jesus is going to defeat the Mahdi. Hit follow for more. Inbox me the word join on Instagram or click the link in my story or bio to join this month's class on learning God's voice, dream interpretation, what we'll do in the Messianic reign, and
President Trump, 9 years ago, you had called for a Muslim ban, and people thought that you were crazy. You received a whole lot of pushback. You were accused of the usual things, being a racist, being Islamophobe, and just being a dictator. All the same rhetoric. But now, with the current situation that's going on in America, look what's happened to you in New York. We have a Marxist, commie, Islamic radicalist as a mayor of New York, who has been in this country. He has been in this country for less than 10 years. But now he is running one of the biggest cities of the world, not just in America, but in the world, all based on Islamic ideals. President Trump, I'm appealing. Can you put that back on the table about putting a ban on Muslims so that we as Americans can figure out what's going on? Those were your words. Because we need to figure out what's going on, sir.
Nah, deadass, whatever she's saying, y'all gotta vote her out. And I'm pleading the blood of Jesus over his face.
Okay, so not only am I reacting to these clips, but I'm also pointing out something that a lot of people online are noticing too, the rate at which Muslims are openly declaring that Islam will enter every single home. And listen, I don't think people necessarily hate Muslims as individuals. That's not what this is about. People have a problem with the message that's being pushed, the way it's being delivered, and the tone behind it. When you start telling the whole world that your religion is going to dominate every household, whether people agree or not, that's where things get uncomfortable, because at the end of the day, people have the right to choose what they worship, how they worship, and what they believe in. You can't force that on anyone. And when it gets to the point where some people online, and thankfully not all, imply that others should be harmed or unalived just to prove a religious point, that is where the problem becomes serious. That's where people start pushing pushing back, not because they hate the religion, but because forcing anything on people is not okay. Humans deserve choices. They have a choice. They deserve freedom. Faith should come from conviction, not pressure. Now, Islam is everywhere. Nobody can deny that, and it's growing, and they are openly saying it. Okay, they are boldly proclaiming that Islam will enter every home, and maybe prophetically one religion will dominate the world eventually. If it turns out to be Islam, then honestly there will be nothing anyone can do about it. That's just how prophecy works. But at the same time, that doesn't mean people should be pressured, threatened or forced along the way. That's the real issue people are talking about online. It's not hate, it's concern about approach. I'm not here to spread hate. I'm not here to attack anyone. I'm just sharing what the internet is already discussing, what people are reacting to, and what's trending across these platforms. Everybody's watching, everybody is noticing the tone, and everybody has questions. That is all I'm saying. So as we continue with the rest of the reaction clips, please go ahead, drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about this. Do you feel like this messaging is harmless? Yeah, let me know. Of course it's not. Do you think it's prophetic? Do you think people are overreacting, or do you think there's a real conversation to be, that we need to have? Because at this point the world is changing and fast. Everyone has something to say. Yeah, so go ahead, say it in the comment section down below. I'll come back at the end of this video to give my own 2 cents. Let's keep watching.
This right here isn't the Middle East. This is Detroit. And you thought the borders were open for no reason. They were actually open to bring in military-age men from all over the world to infiltrate our land. This is invasion. This is a takeover. The open border was a Trojan horse to bring in extremists. If Christians continue to be silent about their faith and aren't bold in proclaiming Jesus Christ, then this whole nation will fall. And if you like Christian content, be sure to follow or subscribe now.
The future is ours. Every ideal nightmare of a Muslim Europe will come true. They can be as mad as they want. I don't care. America will be a Muslim country. Russia will be a Muslim country. Islam will enter every house, inshallah. But we have to be a part of that change and never ever apologize. We're unapologetic. Never ever compromise. We're uncompromising.
When people say that Islam is not compatible with Western society, with a pluralistic society, this is exactly what we are talking about. You have this imam who is just casually saying in the UK out loud that America is going to become a Muslim country, Russia is going to become a Muslim country, that Islam is going to enter every house. Now, I don't know about you guys, but when I hear that, I don't think of a missionary project. I don't think of Islamic proselytizing. I don't think of him referring to Muslims converting people over to Islam through love and acceptance, which, by the way, is not really a large factor in the growth of Islam. It's primarily driven by high birth rates. But he's clearly not talking about faith or a personal belief. He's referring to a political takeover. His language is the language of conquest, and that is the language of people who think that the West is weak enough for them to come in and replace. The United Kingdom, where this imam is saying this, proves why they feel so bold enough to say this. Look at what's happening there. Nobody in America gets told any of this, but in parts of London and Bradford and Birmingham and Luton, the police won't even enforce basic laws if it risks community tensions. They have totally redefined the definition of Islamophobia to include race when Muslim is not a race. Their politicians have no backbone. They have no spine. They have entire neighborhoods where extremist preachers literally have more influence than the parliament. There are schools where kids are bullied for being too Western. Politicians as well as police and authorities have openly admitted that they don't talk about this, they don't say a word because they're terrified of offending the wrong people. It has gone beyond the idea of diversity. It has become a cultural surrender, and I'm sorry, the UK's done. There is no recovering from what has happened to the UK. And I already know that people are going to come in and say, oh, well, this imam doesn't represent all Muslims. Obviously, I know it doesn't. Most Muslims, or at least a lot of them, don't want any part of this ideology of the takeover, but this is the strain of political Islam. This triumphalist, we're going to dominate the West mindset is very real, and pretending that it doesn't exist is again exactly how the UK got caught flat-footed in the first place. Every warning was dismissed as racist or Islamophobic until the reality became too obvious to hide. And by the way, since the 60s, the UK's public opinion have continuously shown that they reject the influence of Islam in their society, and that they think the immigration policy has been horrible, and they think that too many people have been coming into their country and their politicians did nothing. And I'm sorry, but this whole we're never going to apologize, we're never going to compromise compromise, never water anything down in our religion. It's not religious devotion. It is, again, political absolutism. That is a vision of society where pluralism does not exist, where you cannot disagree, where you do not coexist with people, you overtake them.
If you guys haven't heard, Germany is kicking out all their fucking Syrian refugees. Over a million of them. Why? Because they said there's no fucking war in Syria. They're not fucking refugees. And you know what? They're fucking right. None of these idiots are refugees. Send them back to the fucking Middle East. All they do is mooch on benefits. Send them back.
We're done hiding. We're done. We're done being tortured and hurt and judged. This is the correct religion. This is the religion that all of humanity needs to be a part of, Islam. And we will not stop until it enters every home.
We are at a turning point. We will be a person of the presence of Jesus Christ. Let the true worshipers arise from the north to the south, to the east, to the west. There's one body. There's one baptism. There's one Jesus. There's one Holy Ghost. Let the church arise.
Okay, so as we wrap this video up, I want to say something, to make something very clear before anybody starts twisting my words or taking this conversation out of context. What I'm seeing online right now, the bold declarations, the public statements, the confidence with which some people are saying that Islam will enter every home is something a lot of people are reacting to. And yes, it ties into biblical prophecy. The Bible does not. The Bible does speak about a time in the last days when one religion, one system, one unified belief structure will dominate the world. Now, whether that ends up being Islam, nobody can say for sure, but based on what we're witnessing today, based on how loudly and boldly it's being stated, many people online are beginning to question whether Islam could be the one religion that, rises to global dominance. And listen, that's not hateful. That's not an attack. That's just an observation. That's commentary on what's really happening on the internet, in public square, at rallies, in speeches, everywhere. People are noticing, people are talking, people are questioning, and that's normal. We're living in times where prophecy and reality are starting to overlap, and folks are trying to make sense of it. The issue isn't Islam itself. The issue isn't Muslims living their lives or practicing their faith. The problem comes in when the message turns into a demand, when it becomes a public insistence that everyone must follow this one religion, this one system, this one way of life. Like, people don't have a choice, because at the end of the day, everyone does have a choice. People have a right to choose their own faith. People have a right to worship how they want. People have the right to practice what they believe in without being forced, pressured, intimidated, or guilt-tripped into something. This is why Jesus loves us so much. He has given us a choice. Creator of the world, our God, our creator, our master, the God who has created everybody, has given humanity a choice to choose what they want. Now, what about, okay, I'm going to end there. That's not hate speech. That's just common sense. That's basic human freedom. And what's sad is that the forceful approach, the Islam will enter every home, whether you like it or not, tone, that's where the discomfort is coming from. That right there, that's where the pushback is coming from. That's why people are reacting online the way they are. Nobody wants to be forced into anything. That applies to religion, politics, culture, everything. The moment you start forcing something on people, that's when fear comes in. That's when defensiveness rises. And that's when conversations like this become so tense. Like, biblically, yes, we are told that in the last days there will be a global religious system, a dominant spiritual authority that the whole world will recognize. Christians know this. We know that. It is prophecy. So if that ends up being Islam, and honestly, there's nothing any human will be able to do to stop this prophecy from unfolding. It will happen the way it's supposed to happen. It will play out exactly how God said it would. And maybe that's why many people are paying close attention right now. Maybe that's why people are connecting the dots, because what used to sound far-fetched now looks like, it could play out right in front of our eyes. But again, I want to emphasize this, and I'm going to keep emphasizing it. This is not hate speech. I have no hatred towards Muslims. I'm not here to disrespect anyone's religion. I am not attacking individuals or their right to worship. I'm simply reacting to videos, to public statements, to things being said openly on the internet. I am not. I am pointing out the part where the messages becomes forceful. That's where the problem lies. That's where the problem is. That's where people get uncomfortable. That's where the conversation becomes serious. Everybody has the right to believe what they want. Everybody has the right to worship how they choose. And nobody, absolutely nobody, should be forced into any religion. No matter how big it grows or how influential it becomes, faith should come from conviction and not pressure. So with all that said, let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment section down below. Do you see, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Do you see the connection between these public declarations and biblical prophecy? Do you think people are overreacting? Do you think it's a genuine concern? I want to hear your thoughts, your perspectives, your reactions. And of course, if it's your first time to be on this channel, please guys, go ahead, subscribe to this channel. Turn on that notification bell so that every time I upload such videos, you will be notified. I'll definitely see you in my next video. Please stay peaceful.